foot to be able to touch the floor just a little bit when you're lying down. So when your foot is hanging off. So a bed, a couch can work for this, and that makes it quite lovely. So I'm going to put this foot up here. I'm going to lie down here like this. This is so good already. And then I'm just letting this hip open up. Now, some of your deepest hip flexors is your psoas muscle, and your psoas goes into your low back and actually connects to all 5 of your lumbar vertebrae. And because of that, when the diaphragm comes down, when you take a deep breath, it literally moves into the space of the top of the psoas, affecting it. So the more deeply you can breathe here, the better. So I'm just going to lie here, opening this up. And if I want to open up my chest, I could drop this arm as well. But right now I'm just going to focus on this hip. And if I want to get even more length here, I could squeeze that glute. And just lie here and breathe. If the shoulder distracts you, don't do it. Deep breaths. At least 30 seconds. You've got to do at least 30 seconds to get the benefit. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is a glute bridge. Many people do glute bridges, but not everybody gets the hip flexor stretch out of the glute bridge. By the way, if your glutes aren't firing well, chances are you do need to get your hip flexors to lengthen a little bit to stop inhibiting the glute. So we're going to get in a long position for my glute bridge. Because my arms are hanging off, I'm not going to be able to use my arms very much, so that's going to be helpful. My feet are about far enough away from my legs so that I can make a 90-degree angle here. And I'm going to posteriorly tilt my pelvis first. This is very important because this lengthens those hip flexors already at the git. So I'm going to roll back, I pull my belly button in, and I'm flattening these hips out again, putting those hip flexors into a longer position to start with. So the goal is to flatten out the front of that hip, and then I'm going to lift up into that glute bridge. And right now my goal is just to stretch. So I'm going to just hold here and breathe for at least 30 seconds with those hips open. And I'm squeezing my glutes, because squeezing the opposite side of any joint that you want to stretch a muscle on one side, you squeeze the opposite side and it will help open that up. And then I'm going to come down. I'm going to pretend that was 30 seconds even if it wasn't. Alright, now this last one, the third one, is my new favorite, and it's a combination of active and passive. I'm going to step forward with one leg, and so the back leg that I'm going to be stretching the hip flexor is going to be not really moving, but it's going to be the active motion of my core lifting up and turning that's really going to stretch that hip flexor. So what I'm going to do is I'm starting with my feet kind of like this, and I'm just stepping a comfortable step forward and then putting a little, just a tiny bend into my knee. Tiny bend. Now I'm going to take my top arm and let me step over here. I'm going to wrap that arm around my head, and I'm just going to turn my head away from that back leg. For me, this really stretches my hip flexor. I've got this glute squeezed, I've got this heel down, and I'm pulling up and back with my abs. I could even do that a little bit more. So it's here. And I can reach back with this arm too. And then I get this lovely opening all through here. The more glute squeeze, the better. If I collapse down, I don't get it at all, because now that hip is bent. Let's try it on this side. So I'm going to step forward. I'm going to, oops, that's the same side. So I'm going to step forward, and I'm going to keep this heel down, squeeze that glute. I have to lift up through my core, wrap this arm over, and turn. Whoa, there we go. And I'm going to reach up with this elbow too. And it helps me because I've got this ledge right here right now. So I can really lean on that and I don't have to think about holding myself up. But you could even do this in a repeating fashion. So I'm gonna step here and I'm gonna open. I'm gonna step here and I'm gonna open and turn away. Step and open and turn away. Step and open and turn away. All right, and now my hip flexors are starting to loosen up. So I hope that helps your hip flexors. If you like it or you don't like it or you have questions, please put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.